Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my latest 4-4-2 custom tactics. In this video, you can expect to see my two variations of the 4-4-2, my more defensive and then my more high press one. I'll talk to you about the type of players you should be using in each position. I'll give you the player instructions. The 4-4-2, simply put, every single FIFA is always a top formation. It's just so well balanced. It's got so many strengths and really not many weaknesses. The two strikers and two wingers allow for a really good build-up. You've got a midfield two to protect the defense, a flat four. It is such a good formation, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of why it's so good, how to use it. So guys, I appreciate you tuning in. But before we get into the tactics, I want to talk to you guys about another football game I've been playing lately. Let's get into that. Top 11 is a completely free-to-play football management mobile game available on loads of different mobile platforms. You can get it on Google Play, you can get it on the Apple App Store, you can get it on the Huawei, Microsoft stores, and you can play on the web browsers too. It's an entire football universe in your pocket where you're in charge of every aspect of your team. You can sign superstars, you can sign youth players, create your own stadium, manage your club. If you haven't played Top 11 in quite a while, but you did play it back in the past, there might be quite a few new things added to the game. They've now added a 3D match engine, real-time competition against other managers from all over the world. That really adds to the gameplay experience to see your team in action that you've built. You guys know how much I love custom tactics. Top 11's got so many different ways that you can customize your club, stadium in general, but there's also lots of ways you can change your custom tactics, which in particular is one of my favorite things about the game. With over 260 million players worldwide and an average rating of 4.6 out of 5 stars, which is crazy for a mobile game. Top 11 is huge. It's the football game of your dreams. Why not get started today? Click the link in the description below. I've put a link to download the game and establish your football empire on Top 11 today. Let's get into it, boys. So here we are looking at the 4-4-2. The 4-4-2, like I say, is crazy good in terms of how balanced it is. You've got the two strikers, you've got the flat midfield four, and you've got the flat defensive back four. That just is so solid and hard to break down. It's a very good formation for pressing because it covers every area of the pitch. Two strikers are amazing when it comes to build-up. If I had to give a weakness for the 4-4-2, the only thing I could really say that is a negative for it is there's no player to link up the midfield and attack. So that gap without a cam is a little bit of an issue at times, but your centre mids are really important in this formation. They can really help out. I would want in this formation very much so to have a centre mid who is at the very least very good going forward. I'm not saying to play Messi, and this is just my team setup at the moment, but a really good attacking minded midfielder, someone like Kevin De Bruyne is really good for this, and then a more defensive minded midfielder in the other role, that works really well, it's synergy together. For the strikers, it is the same stuff. You want pace, skill moves, weak foot, high shooting stats. It's pretty standard across the board. For the wingers, you want lots of pace. This is where pace matters more than any other position. These wingers are going to stretch teams out, pull players out wide, and then give you a lot more space in the middle. For the defenders, same as always. Fast, strong, good defending. The fullbacks a lot more so than the centre-backs need to be pretty good on the ball. But in general, this formation, for the most part, is one of the less pay-to-win formations on the game. By that, I mean it doesn't need a God squad as much. But I would say the centre mids are a little bit more important. Like, if you don't have good centre mids, you might struggle a bit. But there's so many great cheap players on this game, it really isn't hard to do that. For the tactic, this is the first variation I've got. This is if you're a little bit more defensive-minded or you don't like being high press, you feel you struggle with switching a bit. Width is set to default. I find this formation presses well all over the pitch, so the width is like that is fine. Lower depth, generally speaking, if we're wanting to sit deep and not get done by through balls, depth obviously being low is going to help. I don't want anything too crazy there. Anything too low just invites a little bit too much pressure, but I feel this works quite well with the 4-4-2. For the build-up play, you've probably seen I've been using forward runs quite a bit recently, but for this now, I'm doing direct passing on this formation. Forward runs works really well when you've got a lot of runners from midfield. In this formation, you don't have that as much. It doesn't work like the 4-3-3 in terms of that. But for me, Direct passing when you've got the two strikers to pin them back works really well, and then you can play it out wide. So it works really well in this tactic. If anything, 4-4-2 is perfect for the direct passing. Players in box 6, I find any lower you go, it's a little bit not enough options, and any higher you go, you're a little bit too vulnerable to the counter-attack. It's almost not as good for keeping possession. For the instructions, we have stay central, stay forward on both of my strikers. I don't want getting behind on the default tactic because I think it makes you a little bit too one-dimensional. I'm trying at the moment balanced and cover centre on both centre mids rather than have one of them stay back, have them both on balance. One thing I would say that was in game, be very careful not to do too many 1-2s and leave them out of position. If you were struggling a bit, change the more defensive minded ones. So in this team, obviously it'd be Valverde. Change them to stay back just so it gives you a little bit more defensive stability. For the wingers, come back on defense. That's really important. Just offers you more defensive stability. Stay wide, get behind, get into the box for cross. You could turn get into the box to that or stay wide to balance. Change it up based on how it feels for you, but for me that works really well. I've got that both wingers. For the defenders, stay back on everyone and then comes for crosses and sweep a keeper on the keeper. Now, for the more attacking version, we are going high press. Press after possession loss, high depth. If you've watched my tactics videos before, you will probably know that this is what I tend to do. I have two variations of formations. One's a bit more negative. When I say negative, like the other one wasn't negative, it's just not as aggressive. And then I have a more aggressive one that this is kind of what you switch to in a game if you were only one goal behind and there's not ages left. Or maybe you just feel like your opponent struggles at all when you press them. You might want to get in their face a little bit more, be a bit more aggressive. If you're losing late on, you want they're more than one up, you need to switch to constant pressure. But this is just a general one that some people might even start with. They might start with this one if they feel that their opponent's struggling on the ball, their opponent's not as good, so you might just want to blow your opponent away. High depth, of course. High depth works well with high press. That's pretty obvious. We're not really changing anything for the most part on this. We've changed the width a little bit. I think a little higher width works well with the press, getting your players out wide and getting the ball in behind to stretch teams. Players, you want the same type of players really. Nothing changes for that. For the strikers, we've changed them to getting behind. The reason we've changed them to getting behind is because when we're pressing, and we're pressing more aggressively, it works really well to have players getting in behind because as soon as we win the ball, they're getting behind. And with the way pace is on this game, it's really useful. A lot of people don't really know how good pace is. I don't think when I play against a lot of people, they don't abuse it enough. In the elite division, it's all that ever happens. When I'm doing coaching sessions with people, and when I'm doing just in general, watching people play, playing against people in foot champs, they really don't utilise how good pace is. And it works a lot better with the press when you're winning the ball back more. Honestly, for the most part, nothing changes too much. I have gone basic defence support on the wingers. I don't want them being quite as deep because I'm going to be winning the ball high up. I want them to be a little bit better on the counter-attack. If you want to really go all out, you can go stay forward. That's going to make you quite a bit worse defensively, so it's kind of risk-reward. The rest of them are all the same. Keeper, I forgot to change that on that one. But like I said, the 4-4-2, very good. Is it my favourite formation on this game? No. But for a lot of people who want a simple and easy tactic to use, it's very good, very simple and effective. And the passing patterns, the way to play with it, is very obvious in general. A lot easier to use than some other formations in the game. So hopefully this video has helped you guys. I appreciate you watching. Let me know as always if there's any questions, if there's any other formation tactics you guys want me to do. Make sure you check out that top 11 game that I was talking about earlier in the video. Link in the description. Get involved. It'd be fun to play with some of you guys on there. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate the support. Keep it spicy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.